You're back in Orlando. We were talking the other day, you've had several stints here working with a bunch of the different teams.
Well, I mean, it's obviously there still are a lot of friends here that we had when we were living here. We lived down here, I think, 12 years or something like that. It's good to get back. Good to be back in this bowl game, a very good bowl game, and again, good to be back, but good to be playing a quality opponent that is going to be a great challenge for us.
Can you take us through the different teams you've coached here? I don't know them off the top of my head.
Came here when we moved here. We moved with the World Football League, 91-92.
Yeah.
Orlando Thunder, assistant 91, head coach in 92. League closed down for 2 years. We stayed here and came back with NFL Europe, and we were overseas for 6 years with Dusseldorf for the Rhine Fire, and then came back here with the XFL and still remained here. And then in 2002 moved to Dallas with the Cowboys and been going ever since. So good to be back. Orlando, I mean, we love Florida. I mean, the weather's great, and maybe someday we'll be back.
Galen, with Bobby Bowden getting out, by his choice or not, Joe's been kind of described as like the last dinosaur. I mean, we know what's happened to Urban Meyer. I mean, the stress chews up a lot of coaches, and they don't stand it for very long. The Bear Bryants and Woody Hayes, and it doesn't seem like those guys that stayed at school for 25 or 30, 35 years are there anymore. It seems like Joe is like every year. I mean, no matter if you've got great players or All-Americans or whatever, it seems like Joe is always the focus. I mean, because he's so identified with Penn State. Can you just talk about the fact that he'll probably get more sideline shots and less miles?
Well, I think Joe should be identified with Penn State. Again, Joe is such a perfectionist. I don't think anything comes up that's going to that he hasn't seen and has a way to adapt to it. And I think he loves football. He loves Penn State. He's going to do what's right for Penn State. And how long Joe goes, I don't know. But I think he's very alert, very on top of everything, and hasn't really changed a whole lot since I first knew Joe. That's almost 50 years ago. So that's when he coached me. He's still that type of sharp person that's on top of everything.
What have these last 4 or 5 years been like for you, Galen? The last 4 or 5 years getting back to Penn State as an assistant, a different role than, you've been a head coach, you've done a little bit of everything.
Very, very good, very enjoyable. Joe's a great guy to work for. Again, very demanding, but he lets you coach, and is a person that sees a lot and very helpful, but he's just a great guy to work for.
You said that you would like to go as long as he does. Is that
I mean, hopefully I'm here next year. We'll find out after this game, but I have no idea what Joe's plans are, and right now my plans are probably, hopefully, if Joe wants me to stay, which I'm sure we review after every year, that I can be here, because Penn State's a great place to be and work.
Are you on the same contract line as he is, or how does
we don't even worry about contracts. You don't worry about contracts.
I mean, you don't want to talk about it, or you guys don't worry about it because you have that kind of trust in each other?
Well, I think we trust Joe, and and Joe's going to do what's right. No, I don't think we even have contracts.
Having been at Florida, is there a lot of difference in the atmosphere surrounding? Can you compare the programs?
No, very tough competitive programs. We were very tough and competitive. We were at Florida. I think we're all. I don't care whether you're at Marshall or Florida or LSU or Chattanooga. You put your own pressure on yourself, and everyone talks about outside pressure. Coaches put enough pressure on themselves to be successful. The outside pressure, that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't.
What are your thoughts on the Urban Meyer situation? You've been down in that pressure cooker, and
Well, I mean, again, it's the pressure he puts on himself.
Right.
I don't think Urban Meyer's worried about the alumni.
Right.
I just think it's what he puts on himself, and he's got to, he's his own person, and he's got to look at where he is and can he handle it, the pressure he puts on himself, and that's something he's got to look at.
I don't know if you know or not, Mike Leach got fired today too at Texas Tech. Any thoughts on the situation there? What happened there?
I don't. I had heard he did. I don't know Mike. I heard he's a good guy, but I don't know enough about the situation to comment one way or the other. I really don't.
you know a thing or two about pro running backs. Has Evan Royster talked to you, and what are your thoughts about the decision he has to make?
Well, I think that's a decision Evan and his parents have to sit down. I think Evan is thinking about whether to come out or not, and I think that's something between he and his parents, and I think they're going to put a lot of thought into it. And Evan's a very, very intelligent person, the way his parents are. And I think whatever they decide is going to be best for Evan.
What if he asked you for advice? What would you say?
I probably, I'll give him my opinion of what I think is best, but then it's still the decision between he and his parents.
Did the inexperience in the offensive line and some of the injuries you had on the offensive line this year, did that affect or limit the play calling at any time during the season?
I don't know whether it's limited to play calling. Maybe we haven't performed as good as we could have, with an experienced line. I think 2-yard gains or 4-yard gains were maybe 3-yard gains or something like that. We're better. We're better now than we were against Michigan State, just because they've practiced together and the people have stayed healthy. Those people, the Potai and the Iliitis and the Wiz and Pennell and Landout, they've been together to see the blitzes for 14, 15 more practices. So now they'll identify them and pick them up a little bit quicker. And so they have progressed. But it helps your really good offensive football teams, if you go back and check, are going to be 4th and 5th year people in front. That's the way it's going to
Do you remember your first meeting with Coach Paterno? Did he recruit you? Or?
be. Yeah, I mean, my first meeting, probably not. I mean, he came and saw me play a high school football game, and I think I got hurt the third play of the game or something. And he probably didn't even say, "Hey, scratch him off the books." But came back and watched a basketball game, and after that, I got a scholarship offer. So, and we were only 30 miles from Penn State, so very easy drive for him.
And he hasn't really changed much?
No, he has not changed much. No.
Can you think of one or two that has changed?
Changed for him?
Yeah, about him.
No, not a whole lot. He was tough on you, coaching you. Back then, he's tough on people now. He puts enough pressure on you in practice, so whenever you get in the game, you have had some pressure situations.
Can I ask about Darryl? He kind of took offense to the question that it wasn't about him, but as far as you've seen how he stacks up against the SEC QBs, and obviously it's a little more of a pride thing.
Well, I think Darryl's as good as any. Everyone talks about it's hard for me to go compare him to Tebow and Jordan and whoever the rest of them are. We're very happy with Darryl. I think he's played very well. He's been voted the Big Ten Player of the Year. I think it's all very deserving. But compare him with Tebow, you can't compare him because I don't see Tebow. I really don't. Very, very good player and deserving of all the accolades he gets. But no, try to compare him. I don't think it's fair to him.
But as far as just impressing and showing the why he deserves that he
he deserves everything he's got. You look at his stats. He's had a very good year. I don't know what they are, but he's had a very good year. And he's led us to what's our record? 10-2.
Yep.
Okay, 10-2 football.
Thanks.